If you're a keen observer of the ad and marketing world and wish to be hands-on with the latest happenings and trends of the ad, media and marketing world, you're at the right place. This is Brandstand and I'm your host P. Karunya Rao, and we're back with yet another exciting episode. So let's get started and look at what we have in store in this week's episode. A conversation with LinkedIn India's Akshay Kothari and a report on the Big Bang Award. Let's check out the top news of the week. The India chapter of International Advertising Association has elected Neeraj Roy, Managing Director and CEO Hungama Digital Media, as its president. Monica Tata was elected as Vice President and Pradeep Dwivedi is the new Secretary. Jaideep Gandhi, Chairman Jai Advertising, has been declared as the Treasurer. Bark India has appointed Jamie Kenny as Business Head Digital. The move is a part of Bark India's plan of launching digital audience measurement in the country. In his last assignment with Nielsen in the US, he was responsible for strategic digital initiatives, new digital products and expansion, and global digital rollouts, training technical client-facing teams to support the rollouts on the ground in 10 countries around the world. As per Adobe's 2016 Creative Pulse survey, as high as 98% creative professionals in India believe that creativity and design thinking are more important to business in the country. This is higher than the APAC average of 89%. The survey includes more than 1,700 creatives across Asia Pacific, including graphic designers, web designers, artists, and more. The report also found that Indian creatives have a higher desire to learn and feel motivated to finding new solutions to design-led changes. Mindshare has announced the appointment of John Thankamani as Head Programmatic. In his new role, John will focus on driving programmatic adoption and the embracing of programmatic tools by Mindshare clients. This will include the development of future adaptive specialist teams. John will be setting guidelines to work with partners while ensuring that Mindshare's clients have access to relevant and in-target audiences across quality and viewable inventory that is fraud-free. He will also be responsible for harnessing data and technology products to drive performance and business results for clients. Today, content is king, and we know that for LinkedIn, a majority of the chunk of its revenues today comes from content. But tell me something, how did this transition happen? Because LinkedIn started as a networking site, went on to become a recruiting platform, and today it's also offering content-driven solutions to clients.
We start with our vision. So LinkedIn's vision is to create economic opportunity for every member of the global workforce. And the way we operationalize that vision is by creating a graph where, which we call the world's first economic graph. And what we're doing there is we're trying to connect all the different parts of this graph, whether it's members, whether it's companies, whether it's jobs, whether it's skills, or whether it's knowledge. And I think what we want is, like, when some of these things are in place, we can actually just step back and let all forms of capital to flow within this graph. And so one way to kind of create economic opportunity is to get a job. But it turns out that, let's say you're in your dream job today, but we can still help you do better, which could be that, we can help you get a speaking opportunity somewhere. We could help you be on the board of some company somewhere. We could just help you be more informed, which can help you just get promoted within the company, right? And so content kind of plays into that role, which is, let's say you're actually pretty happy in the company you're in, but what LinkedIn can do is then actually deliver you personalized business news based on the industry you're in, based on the people you know. We can give you news that can help you stay informed, which in some ways can help you do your job better.
LinkedIn's ad business has grown 29% year-on-year in the first quarter of 2016. A large part of it is from the sponsored content, while the premium display ads, which are the banner ads, are slowing down.
Well, it seems like that's where the market is going. I think if you look at just broader kind of, where the market is headed, display is falling, and it's just not just LinkedIn, but overall market is seeing that as well. And increasingly, content marketing is becoming the way that brands use to engage with their users. And it's actually, in some ways, it's actually been really good from a member experience perspective, right? So if you think about it, as a user, when you're using any service, instead of there being banner ads that kind of take over your screen and really kind of ask for attention, what you're seeing now is that a lot of brands are actually writing really good content that actually flows within the feed of content that you're consuming. So similarly for us at LinkedIn, just like how you would engage with your professionals that you're connected with in terms of what they're sharing, today you can also follow companies and see what they have to say. And from that perspective, what we're seeing is that more than 60% of our revenues for the LinkedIn Marketing Solutions is now sponsored content.
And what does your revenue pie look like? What are the kind of monies you're targeting from advertising?
Right now, majority of our revenues actually comes from talent solutions, which is our product. Our key product is Recruiter, which helps people recruit. So I think about 60% of our revenues more than 60% of our revenues come from that. 20% of our revenues actually come from LinkedIn Marketing Solutions, and the remaining about 20% comes from subscriptions. So I think in general, what we see is a mix of products, as a mix of revenue base is probably going to be similar. What we have seen is that specifically for sponsored content, it is actually our fastest growing business at scale. And so what we're seeing now is more and more companies are wanting to engage with that because they're able to, at the very core, target the right segments. That's kind of the beauty of LinkedIn is we can help you get to the right level, right audience segment, whether it's helping you find the right industry you want to target, whether it's helping you get to the right level, like whether you want to only target managers or higher, or we can tell you that, hey, you want to only target certain functions. I want to target all engineers or all product managers or all marketers. And that's actually like the beauty of the LinkedIn platform. It's something that you can only do here and really kind of slice and dice it in a way where you are able to target the right audience.
LinkedIn has introduced a service that allows marketers to run large-scale targeted campaigns. But a lot of other digital platforms also have similar kind of tools. How is yours different?
As we just spoke about, I think the key difference is going to be targeting. And what we can do is we can really help you get to the right audience better, just because we have very deep identity data, right? So I think the other thing we can do beyond targeting is also help you advertise with context, right? So if a person is actually coming into the feed and reading a certain amount of content about, let's say, big data, the ads that can show up, it can be related to that, so that it feels like it's in line with what the person is interested in. And so context and targeting are probably the two biggest things that allows us to differentiate from the rest of the platform.
And now LinkedIn is also making its inventory available to marketers programmatically. How is that move going to boost your revenues?
I think so. Increasingly, what we're going to do is we're going to focus more and more on primarily two products within our LinkedIn Marketing Solutions business. That's going to be sponsored content, which is updates that companies can write and put it within the feed. And then the other one is going to be sponsored in-mail, which is essentially like an email that a company can send to basically really kind of attract the right audience. And so especially for our display business, we're going to move that completely towards programmatic. And that's again kind of what the market wants. It's where the industry is moving, and it allows brand marketers who actually want to do display a lot more control in terms of how they want to spend their media dollars.
You've worked at the company's headquarters before coming down to India. So when it comes to working with clients here vis-a-vis the clients in the West, how different is it?
I think the big thing that I've noticed in the market is there's a little bit of education that's still, it's a little bit of a nascent market. So there's a little bit of more education we need to do in terms of really helping brands understand how content marketing can help them. But increasingly, what we're also seeing is that there's increasingly a lot of startups in India who really get that very quickly. So I think overall, we're very bullish on where the market is headed. And increasingly, we're seeing more and more demand in terms of content marketing and actually really investing dollars in sponsored content.
We all know how big LinkedIn is on the mobile platform. So will LinkedIn's mobile activity also open up doors for Microsoft in terms of advertising on mobile?
To be seen. I think the deal with Microsoft has not closed yet. And so at this point, it's only in the planning stage. But at the very high level, I think LinkedIn does have very deep identity data that is going to be a really powerful addition to what Microsoft's assets are in terms of their massive reach in terms of different small and medium businesses, right? And so from that perspective, we're very bullish on what we can do together, but we still have a couple months, at least to wait before the deal is closed.
And are there any new offerings and services from LinkedIn in terms of advertising and marketing that you'd like to tell us about?
So one thing we're really excited about is conversion tracking that we recently launched. What this allows the brand marketers to do is really make sure that all the things that they're investing in, they're able to track that and really see, really kind of granularly see all the data around it. One of the things we're really excited about in India is actually the India team has its own editorial team at LinkedIn, which is really curating content for our members. And so one of the things we're seeing is that increasingly more and more LinkedIn members are coming to the platform to really get their business news. And when we do that, it increasingly becomes a platform that advertisers can then potentially leverage as a way to really brand themselves. And so we're pretty bullish on where the content is moving in India. A big example is Honorable Prime Minister Modi publishes about once a month, and he writes these long form posts about what he's doing, and it gives you this peek into how he's thinking, how his government is working. And so that's increasingly made LinkedIn a very unique platform to really consume content. And that's something that brands can effectively leverage as well.
Great, thank you so much for being on Brandstand. It was a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you.
Ad Club Bangalore successfully concluded the 21st edition of the Big Bang Awards last week. Since I was in the city at that time, I got a chance to attend the ceremony that honored excellence in communication and media and interact with the Ad Club's torchbearers. And of course, I also have the list of winners of this year's edition. Take a look.
The Advertising Club Bangalore's Big Bang took place on September 23 in Bangalore, with eminent personalities especially from the Southern ad fraternity in attendance. This year, the event wasn't just confined to awards night, but was conceptualized in a manner to encourage the ideology of Connected India, which was the theme of the event.
Their creativity in both thinking and execution. And the way that they have evolved is that the competition of course has increased more and more, because earlier Bangalore Awards, Ad Club Awards were more about what was there in the Bangalore market. But over the years we are getting increasing higher involvement from brands across the country. We've also tried to make it more representative of what the world is today, and if you would have seen our entire theme of Connected India, it's also because content, data, tech, all of it kind of comes together. And it is important to acknowledge and be able to work with change in that perspective. So I think the biggest thing that these awards really show us is how there are some of us who are being able to adapt to change.
The whole Big Bang was initiated simply to kind of promote the advertising fraternity of Bangalore, which actually has been small but now has become much larger. I mean, we have a huge amount of advertising people sitting here and creating campaigns for national, multinational campaigns. And now is actually when we started focusing on it and trying to build it to become something that's iconic and something that other cities from India can actually partake in.
This year, Big Bang Awards were presented under 4 major categories: creative, media, digital and health. And the jury panel comprised 56 senior advertising, marketing, media, PR and digital industry experts and thought leaders.
This is the 4th year when we went completely online, both for submission of entries and judging. So I don't think any other advertising club in India is online fully as we are. We are able to get judges sitting in comfort of their home or office and judge their entries, these entries, and give their scores. We broadly classify the judging parameters into 4 areas. We say creative excellence, the idea, then execution, and what impact does it have.
Saatchi & Saatchi Health won the Healthcare Agency of the Year. Stark Communications was named Creative Agency of the Year. Mindshare and Maxis were the biggest winners of the night, bagging awards for media, digital and social media agencies of the year, respectively.
We are all very excited, and I think winning across platforms and now winning the Big Bang Agency of the Year is just reassuring that great works are getting recognized, and this I think we won across lots of brands and lots of clients. It's truly inspiring and motivating for us to win this, this platform. We won this last year also, and this is the second time in a row which we won again. I think it's a great feeling.
Bangalore has evolved as an advertising hub, especially in the southern region over the years. This year saw the Ad Club Bangalore receive a record number of entries. A total of 1,200 entries were submitted, which is the highest in the last 2 decades.
If you look at last 5 years, a lot of great work that's done from Bangalore have got recognized and across platforms, whether it is media agency or advertising agency. Yes, it is true that there are probably a lot more agencies in Bombay and probably a little lesser relatively in Bangalore. But I think we should look at it from a south perspective, and there are great brands which are growing fantastically well across the south market, and the talent base that is actually putting the work for them is also very inspiring, and we should actually motivate them more, recognize them more. And I'm sure that it's not about any territorial or regional base, but great works wins, right? And great works get inspired more. It allows the talent to actually do more and more.
We have an immense set of the most marquee advertisers of the country and the clients of the country out here. And I think the biggest thing is that they're all in the younger ecosystem of whatsoever. We have our own set of FMCGs and the brick and mortar companies are there. But I think what Bangalore really brings in is a lot of retail, and it also brings in a lot of the startups, the whole marketplaces.
That's all we have in this edition of Brandstand. Please drop in a line to us at brandstand@zeemedia.slgroup.com with your feedback and suggestions, or you can also reach us via Twitter. I'll see you all next week. Take care.